Havre de Grace has long been recognized as the cultural arts center of the Upper Chesapeake Bay region, so it's the perfect location for our next guest to call home. Joining me on the program is multi-talented Derek Pentz, also known as Zenobia Darling, an artist, writer, podcaster, stand-up comic, and drag performer. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. And you said it right, like Zenobia Darling. Like okay. you had like the accent right.
Okay, and I've got to ask you, well, maybe this is a later question, but I would love to know the origin of your name, Zenobia.
Okay, so I'm very big into Andy Warhol, the Warholian drag superstars. There was one named Candy Darling from the 70s.
Okay.
She was in like not female trouble. What is it? The Chelsea Girls.
Okay.
And she was like she was a trans person, very big in that scene, and I've always idolized her, so it comes from that. Plus there's like the Ab Fab, Absolutely Fabulous with Jennifer Saunders.
Yeah.
She would always be like, darling, and I was like, I love that. Because I just want to be like Madonna, like just Zenobia, but I have the darling because I'm not that big yet.
Okay. All right, so you hail from Harford County, right?
Can born and raised in Havre de Grace. So my dad's in the fire company, and about as Havre de Grace as they come. So I always say, my mom's side of the family has been there for 100 years. So again, Havre de Grace if they come, it's in my blood.
Yeah.
And I kind of have always had this eye for pop culture. I always knew I wanted to perform, do drag performing, I've always known that there was a character inside me that needed to be on stage and that I had to go to LA, go to DC, go other places to do it. So,
yeah.
And I still have my art studio there. So I still like to come back and paint here and create and just be a creative contributing to the community.
Now your theatrical training comes from Towson, right?
Yes, I'm a Tiger. So I went there for theater. So, and that's where I got a lot of like the stand-up training. I was a solo performer there. I have dyslexia, so I'm not really good at learning lines, but I'm really good at improv acting.
Okay.
And I did a whole bunch of like costume design too, which is all drag. So I have the full package with it.
Okay. So. And then to add on to that, you are a visual artist as well.
Oh yeah, I learned how to paint doing like Bob Ross oil paintings and that traditional bucolic landscape, like Harford County art. I grew up doing that, and then I got into graffiti, and now it's like I choose to do more neo-expressionism and graffiti, but I'm bringing back into it all that like tradition. So.
Okay, so all right, so we just saw you painting along the Susquehanna, and then that was the result of it, correct?
So that is the Northeast Corridor, Amtrak's Northeast Corridor bridge. I like to focus on graffiti. I got told that graffiti has no place in a fine art gallery, so I kind of subvertly put it in there, and then there I am actually in plein air painting, or not so much in the plein air, but I was in this Gallery 220 at First Friday painting something. So.
Okay, now you also paint in drag.
Yes, I've done that at the Upper Chesapeake Bay Pride Festival.
Okay.
And kind of when I paint, it's a performance, and kind of that's how I view painting. So the act of painting is theater that I can incorporate her into. So.
Oh, interesting. So you just bring it all together.
Oh yeah. And I kind of marry it all together in my own interesting way and throw glitter on it and have fun.
You have a little glitter on too.
Oh, just a little bit, and sequins.
Okay, let's talk we're going to talk more about you because I think you're fascinating. But let's talk about the new art scene with Gallery 220 and how you're involved in that.
So Katie No took over as the creative director from Rebecca Jessup. She's amazing, and she moved on, but Katie took over, and I know Katie through the States Theater of Havre de Grace, so she's affiliated with that with her husband Jared, and I do my podcast at the State Theater, and when she took over that job, I kept telling her, like, I want my artwork, I want to focus more, and they opened up Gallery 220 where Artist Emporium was, and they want to focus more on a not so much commercial art gallery, but an art gallery that we would see in like larger cities, that people like my age would be going to these larger cities to have, to see, but in Havre de Grace. So we do a lot more of like, it's very up and coming. So you have like me, another artist named Liz Lawson, Colin Cessna is another artist. So it's like the three of us are there, just like doing it, and we're kind of like the new generation of artists. So
interesting.
Ezra Berger, the painter, kind of gave us their stamp of approval that we're like the next generation. So I kind of took it and run with it.
And you were telling me before we came on air that you know, when you first started all of this, you'd have to go like to DC or you'd have to go to LA. And now it's so nice to be able to do some of your artwork right here.
Yes, and I can do drag here, and I can paint, and I just like being in nature painting and just kind of like doing all that stuff. So.
Okay, now tell me about hashtag Rockstar Life, the art blog on Zenobia Darling.
Okay, so hashtag Rockstar Life is my book series, but the art blog in particular is kind of like, I talk about me painting in Harford County. So it's me out in nature or out like at Susquehanna State Park or along the Susquehanna and Havre de Grace.
Yeah.
And I'm painting about it. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about different art movements. It's very much like I'm in the process of going to grad school, and it's kind of like the start of all that like artistic research. So
okay, interesting. Gosh, your energy is pretty impressive.
Yes.
All right, I want to talk about drag performing because
Okay.
it's in the news a lot right
Yes.
now. So you're a drag performer. Tell me a little bit about it. Why does it inspire you? Why do it?
It's total freedom. It's, you know, it's been politicized, but it's acting like it's this new art form. It's stereotypically a queer art form, which I think is where the politicization comes from.
Right.
But drag is how you present to the world. So people have been entertained by drag all their life.
For centuries.
For centuries.
Yeah.
It dates back to, I mean, the beginning of time. And
Yeah.
we've always had people that play characters. So it's kind of, it's total freedom. Like when I'm Zenobia, it's all fun and games. It's feel good, endorphins flowing.
Yeah.
So, and this is a good time.
And then you said there's a little boy behind
Yes,
Zenobia too.
I created Zenobia and I was kind of doing some like trauma therapy with her, and I invented her, and then I kind of like took it and ran with it. And if it wasn't for Zenobia, I wouldn't be here because like I've healed a lot of my trauma through her. So
Right.
that's something that I don't think people realize.
No, I think you're right.
Is most drag performers have had harder lives than people want to acknowledge.
Right.
And drag's how they've survived it.
And
So
how they work through it all.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
and
now,
if you're depressed, go to a drag show because it's instant feel-good emotions and endorphins.
Yeah, okay. So just tell me about some of your upcoming events because you sound really busy because I know you've
Oh,
got
yeah.
like art exhibitions, the podcast, the drag show.
So my podcast's coming out, #RocksHerLife Coffee Break, totally from Zenobia. That's coming out the fall.
Okay.
I'm curating the Art of Drag exhibition at Gallery 220.
Okay.
So it's focusing on the art of drag, the behind the scenes look. I'm actually filming something shortly at a drag
Interesting.
show with it. So it's going to be a very big art show, and it's something that you're used to seeing in like LA or New York or that type of art thing. And then I have a modern cave art exhibition or installation exhibition going in at Gallery 220 now that is curated by my friend Liz. So.
Okay, so they're really two big events then that we can
And
you know,
totally
put on our
different
calendar.
art, but still me being the creativeness that I am.
And if you have any messages to folks out there who want to understand your art form better or who are doing your art form, do you have a message? Can they get in touch with you?
Oh
Can
yeah,
they-
go to ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com.
Okay.
So there's a way to contact me. My email address is on there. So follow me on social media, all that stuff. Read the art blog, and just feel free. If you see me on the street, come and say hi. Like I'm friendly. So I still have that like Havre de Grace like friendliness. So
And you're friendly, and you're finding that Havre de Grace is a community
Yes.
that's also embracing. I know the Cultural Arts Board has been pretty supportive.
oh yeah, they sponsor my art blog, and they've been very supportive to me and a lot of other drag performers that are from Harford County that are
Okay.
now starting to shine.
Well,
so.
terrific. I've enjoyed talking with you so much, Derek.
thanks for
Thanks so
having
much
me.
for being here. Good luck with all the work that
Oh,
you're doing. It's
thank
pretty
you.
exciting.
Yes.
Okay.